we go. Well, good evening, everyone. This is Suzanne Steele, and tonight is Tune In Tuesday. And this evening, if you're new, we are going to go through some slides and also share some great experiences and hopefully share some information about active wellness, showing you some ideas about discovering it, living it, and sharing it. And I am in New Hampshire, and we have various other people on the line. We have Bob and Angie from Southern Maine. We have Lori Jones from South Carolina. And we have our special guest, Chris Bruce from Washington State. So this evening, we're going to cover a few things. First is discovering the gig economy. It really is an income earning model for what we call financial stability. You may not have heard about it before tonight, but this evening we hope you'll learn a little bit more and ask some questions. We really are part of a purpose-driven community, and this evening is a fine example of what we do. We are collaborating together, and we are entrepreneurs, and we find that working together works best. So some of the things that most people are really looking for are on the screen right now. Good health, relationships, time to be with family and have some personal time, the ability to make a difference, be part of a community, and have that comfortable finances, and at the same time, have some fun. However, we do have a lot of demands on our lives, and this screen really shows what we're trying to do, juggling between a job and those fun times. And we have a lot of stress, whether it be work or debt or bills. And what we see here are some of the challenges that we have in our environment, whether it be lack of sleep, having some tension in your life, having computer and all of these other EMF type devices near you day and night. You might have some toxins in your water, or you might be sitting in traffic and with all those fumes. And then you see the house on the bottom right. There's a lot of different toxins that are happening in our daily life, in our own homes, and this creates a toxic body burden. So how are all of these things affecting us? You see on the screen here a number of things. You've probably heard of many of them. You might know people who are dealing with these. Arthritis, cancer, stroke, diabetes. One of the huge concerns is that a number of these are hitting younger and younger people, children in fact, with diabetes. So everyone really probably wants to feel better, be happier, and live a longer and healthier life. But the question is, how do we do this? So tonight, what we want to introduce you to is the idea of self-care. It really is about being healthy by choice and not by chance. And as you can see here, it's an active process where people become aware and make choices in that direction. And we like to say, if you're an actively well person and you're in front of a building that's a high rise, you feel good enough and you're able to, and you decide to take the stairs instead of the elevator. So these daily choices that we're making do impact the quality of our lives. You can see that we can be making good small choices, and it's a human being more. But sometimes if we're making some choices in our life daily, it may create some stress, and we become that human under stress. So it really is a consistent sharing and changing that do add up and do make huge shifts in how we're living. So what you see here is what we call the Nikken advantage. It is balanced living, and The gentleman shown here is our founder of our company, Mr. Isama Masuda. And he started this company with a vision of creating world peace through world health and with this magnetic insole. And this insole has helped millions of people worldwide. And you see a wheel on the right with the spiritual belief, that's your core, that's your center. And what we try to do is help people find balance in these other 5 areas, helping you to create peace of mind, helping your body be more fit, get better sleep, just feel like you were young again. Having that time for your family and being able to give back to society, whether it be financial or volunteer time, and then to have the finances to do all those things you want to do. So the company Nikken has been around for over 40 years, and we do have millions of customers, billions of sales, and it really is an approach that I think you'll find is different, simple, easy to integrate, and really is about protecting our environment. And what we do is we utilize the natural energies of the earth, of the sun, and the air. And we are certainly in the week of awareness right now about the sun, just experiencing the eclipse yesterday. We can see how quickly things change in our life when we don't have that sun, and how amazing our whole universe really is. We have air. That air energy is also as important for our life. We need to breathe air every day to live. And then on the bottom, you see the Earth's magnetic field, and you see the body on the right there, and those fields are similar. So we need an Earth's magnetic field in order to survive as well. So what we're going to go through now, and Angie and Lori are going to take us through the next couple of slides, is what we call owners. You need to take ownership of your own health, and what Nikken's done is create and utilize products that are replicating nature, help people make improvements in their life, and we'll see how we start.
Lori, you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, so the first letter is O for oxygen. And we have a couple of amazing products. We don't want our lungs to be the first filter for air. And Nikken doesn't want that either. We have a Kenko air purifier that is huge, and it'll do your whole house, depending on how big it is. But we all need good, clean oxygen. And I have the travel purifier because our rooms in our home are smaller. And my son and my daughter-in-law just came home, and they used to, like, their nose used to run, they used to sniffle. We don't have pets, but I guess they smelled some allergens in the air. And since I've been using the air purifier, they don't have any of those symptoms anymore. And oxygen, we all need it. And it helps me to feel a whole lot healthier and sleep a whole lot better as well.
Obviously, water is critical for our being, and what we put in our body really is significant. It's important to put clean water, and this waterfall, the Primag waterfall, removes all the chemicals, pollutants, and things of that nature. As Bob likes to say, you take out the bad stuff and put in the good stuff. So it filters the water and re-energizes it. So therefore, it's cleansing our body and making it more alkaline. And so is it important to know all those facts? No. The most important thing is to drink the water and to live a healthier life. This is a freestanding one for the home, but also to the right is the water bottle, which is so portable and so convenient. And to the left, we have the microjet shower system. And that's so critical because our skin is our largest organ, and what we expose to and how we exposed our skin to is also affects our health. So by having the filtration, it's creating the whole system and the whole wellness in our bodies. And here is a water experiment. And if you see, the left side is tap water, then well water, reverse osmosis, and the last one to the right is the Primag. And if I were a sweet potato, I think I'd want to be on the right side with the Primag water.
I think I would too, Angie. So nutrition.
Go ahead, Angie.
Okay, our body has different systems, which we all know, it's no surprise, but each system needs something different. And so with the nervous system, it requires something different than the urinary system and the skin and intestinal. So Nikken has created a core system of daily nutritionals that are so incredible. My wonderful story that I love to share is the gender specific with my sister. She had severe hot flashes, and I gave her a bottle, and within a week the hot flashes went away. And this was over 3 years ago now, and she hasn't been without it, and she hasn't been without she's been free of the hot flashes. So it's something simple like that that affected her sleep, and now she's much healthier. I know again, talking about the skin, it's our largest organ. It's important to make sure that we have the best that we can, because it exposes us. That's okay. It's eco certified. And we also have hair technology. And so many people say, oh, I'm having a bad day, especially women. Well, with the Nikken products, you don't have a bad hair day because it helps cleanse the scalp, it helps rejuvenate, and there's no more bad hair day because we're using the technology that really creates good energy again for our body.
Talking about energy, I used to come home and just plop on the couch and watch TV the days before Nikken. And I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning and put in a full day of work. I wear the insoles in my shoes. You can see that off to the right. I also have the Kenko MagFlex in my back. I sit a little bit at work, but I'm moving around a lot as well, so that helps me. And when I got home today, I was ready to cook dinner. So I cooked dinner for my husband, and then I just finished cooking dinner for my son and my daughter-in-law. And I just have a ton of energy. I also have a Kenko wristband, and I have the necklace as well. But all of these products just work with our body to put our body at rest and to help our body to recover on its own, and also to give our body that energy that Suzanne was talking about, the magnetic field. It just really, really helps me every single day.
Now, Lori, what is it that you do during the day?
I am a food service manager. I'm a nutrition service manager at a middle school. And so I'm moving 30 to 40 pound boxes around, and I'm 50 years old. And so I shouldn't be able to have all this energy, but I do, thanks to Nikken. And I love my job, so.
Okay, rest is critical we can be very active, but we also need to rejuvenate. Just like modern day technologies, we plug in our phones at night in order to recharge the battery, but we need to charge our body with good sleep. Sleeping on the mattress topper, which has magnetic energy, helps the body go into a deeper sleep. The pillow is also ergonomically designed so that it helps support our head, because our neck is really small and it's quite, it's carrying a big load with our head, with the brain. So we don't think about that, but that's important. And then the comforter helps balance our temperature. And two people under the same covers are being nourished, temperature-wise, appropriately. So that creates a little cocoon for our bodies to recover and recuperate and get back our energies. And you see to the right of that, the Kinko Therm cocoon, which is a sleeping bag, which does the same thing, and then the sleep mask, which helps with the ambient light for us to get into the deeper REM sleep.
So before we get to S, Angie, what have you been doing in your life from a career standpoint?
I am still, but not practicing, a registered nurse for over 33 years, worked in orthopedics, children's hospital, hospice. So when I heard about this, it was just like the continuation of being willing to work with people to share the information about wellness and good energy, non-invasive, non-toxic.
Thank you. And the beauty of this is you have an option here. You can either choose to be the plant on the right and be in a perfect greenhouse. That's great for the body. Or you can be the plant on the left. And I think most of us would probably choose the plant on the right. And here is showing you how all of these different solutions fit into a home so that you can create that healthy environment, just like a greenhouse. And now we're going to move into income.
Yes, obviously financial needs are important for all of us. And if you look at some of the items on the left, the healthcare, education, retirement, just general cost of living and taxes, probably you or someone you know is challenged in one or more of these areas. And it can have a significant effect on our overall well-being. So developing a method by which you can assure yourself of some financial security is really important today. And as I mentioned, I think after 2008, when there was a major decline in the economy, industries changed dramatically. And as I mentioned, many of the companies don't even seek employees so much as they want 1099 people that work either part-time so they don't get benefits, or literally not employees of the company, just to reduce their costs and flexibility in hiring. And again, people are challenged with retirement because of those downfalls in the economy. And also, it's pretty discouraging to hear that 75% of the people who are working are really not very happy with what they're doing. So all of these things come together, and I think are the reason why the gig economy is taking off at such amazing rates. And it's being self-employed, it's a freelance worker, it's taken from the music industry, the idea of a gig being a short-term commitment and moving from one to another. And this really provides that flexibility. So it's self-employment, freelance, as I mentioned. I've already mentioned companies contracting, but the beauty of this is you can leverage technology. You can use the websites to connect yourself with customers and products, and it really is a pretty seamless process, just communicating with people in need and sharing it, and then allowing them to utilize this technology to order the products to help them live a more vibrant and healthy life. And again, it's estimated by 2020 that 40% of the people will be, in one form or another of the gig economy. And certainly some of these are household words, Airbnb and Uber. And Nikken is yet one more of these opportunities that people can pursue. And what we like about Nikken, we call it the Nikken Advantage, is it's very easy to integrate it in your life. Angie and I are both retired from our primary careers. I was in the software business and implemented financial systems for over 30 years. And it's easy to integrate this in. We have family time, but we also can participate in this. It's meaningful. It gives us an opportunity to help other people and also stay in a vibrant environment. So again, we're helping other people. We're utilizing the gig economy to help supplement our income. We're sharing with people that we really admire. They're like-minded, and they also care about not only their well-being, but the well-being of others. We stay sharp because it is a champion of personal development, both for ourselves and for others. And we're making a difference. We're promoting a cause that makes a difference in other people's lives. So it's very meaningful.
Thank you, Bob. So the question is, if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow, fabulous. But if not, perhaps what you've seen tonight might be an answer for you. So what are your next steps? You might want to just take some ownership of your health and start integrating these solutions into your life and start embracing active wellness. And therefore become a customer. It's free, it's easy to do, and we encourage you to get back with the person that invited you to do this. Or you might have already started down that path and you might want to earn additional income and enrich lives like we have. So what we want to do now is to invite Chris Bruce on the line. If you'd unmute yourself, and Angie is going to ask Chris some questions. He certainly has found his joy and he has shared it with others.
Well, welcome, Chris. We're honored to have you here tonight. And if you would take a few minutes to share your background with us, that would be great for us to hear from you.
Sure. My journey with Nikken started 23 years ago when I just had a really bad day. I was playing flag football with a bunch of young men my age, and as often happens, people got competitive and it advanced to a little bit more rough and tumble. Partway through the game, I ended up tackled and on the bottom of a dog pile with my back broken in 3 places, muscle ligament damage up and down my spine, a dislocated neck, and some nerve damage. Really hurt. I was in shock. When I woke up, I couldn't move anything from the waist down, had no feeling. When that came back later that next day after they reduced some of the swelling, everything hurt. I never heard that much or since. And went through all of the scans and examinations, stuff with the doctors. The plan was that they needed to do a full spinal reconstruction from my shoulder blades way down to the pelvis, so that I'd be able to sit up nice and straight in a wheelchair, because they said that because of how my low back was broken, it was never going to recover to the point where I would be able to stand on my own. I was going to constantly get weaker and weaker and lose more muscle. Because of the nerve damage in my neck, I was going to have problems with my heart and lungs for the rest of my life. Just in general, I was in a lot of trouble. So I went through everything the doctors could do, and after a year of trying to get ready for this surgery, I'd made 0 progress. So they decided I was no longer a good surgical candidate. Can you guys hear me now? Is that a little better?
Yes.
All right. So I was 22 years old. Without the surgery schedule, my insurance company decided that they didn't want to pay for anything anymore. And so I was 22 with a broken back, dislocated neck, nerve damage, muscle atrophy, and an addiction to pain pills. And that's where I was left. So for the next 6 months, I tried everything I could find. I went to specialist after specialist. I went to alternative things. I went to things that my doctors considered weird, hokey voodoo. And nothing really helped until my grandparents were introduced to Nikken, and it really helped them. So they used it on me, and I had a profound experience with the rollout. It's a magnetic massage. If you haven't had one, I recommend it. But by the time they were done giving me this rollout, I was able to lay flat on my back for the first time since I'd been tackled. At that point, I was taking all of the pain pills I could keep down without throwing up, just to manage how I hurt. And it just was amazing. And so that was enough to convince me to try the product. I bought one product, which is a Flex. It's a 5x7 magnetic card. Non-invasive, no drugs, no surgery, but I just put that thing on my back. And in 35 days, I had made enough progress that I didn't take any pain pills after that. At 1 year, I had full range of motion. I didn't have to wear my body brace anymore. I just felt better and better and better, and starting to pull my back. The injuries in my neck healed by themselves, and eventually, like I said, I made a full recovery. Best case scenario when the doctors had me was big surgery, lots of pain, lots of drugs, wheelchair, no kids die at a young age. And with Nikken, no pain, no wheelchair, no surgery, 7 kids, and I'm older than the doctors ever thought I'd be. That's how I got into Nikken.
So that was quite, thank you for sharing all of that. My goodness, you're a miracle man here. And obviously the products have made a big difference. And I judge that because of your experience, you probably have shared this with so many people. Can you share some of the stories of maybe someone that you've helped as a result of your own experience?
Oh, absolutely. I've been all over the U.S. I've been into Europe, Canada, South America a little bit over the years. On the phone, I've been all over the world. But it's just amazing how much, everything from like people who were like me who had that bad day where they got hit by the car or they fell off the building or, they had a massive reaction to something, to people who just are, they have more headaches than they really want, or they don't sleep as well as they'd like, or they just absolutely hate their job. And if they have to go there one more day, they don't know what they're going to do. We've been able to help a lot of people. Just a few examples. I had a man that I met who was diabetic, and he never really got the hang of managing his disease. So he didn't take care of his diet. He didn't take his medication on time. And so it, of course, got worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where his toes turned black and then his feet, and it started to creep up his leg. And he resisted a long time, but they finally scheduled a double amputation below the knee. And that's when I met him through one of his kids. And, he was just absolutely defeated, ready to give up. And so it took some talking, but we convinced him to just try the magnetic insoles and put them on the bottoms of his feet. He couldn't put his feet in a shoe or anything like that, so we just put great big tube socks on him. And within a couple of days, he started to change color back to normal. And it took quite a while, but the doctor saw that there was some progress, so they let it keep going. And eventually, everything came back. I think he still lost a toe or two, but for the most part, it saved both his legs. And I don't understand how or why, but just things like that you can do where people who hurt, people who are facing, big challenges, our bodies are absolutely amazing. And if you give them even half a chance in the right environment, we can recover from a lot.
That's amazing. It's really between your story, your experience, and this story that you've shared, obviously attributes to your success. I'm sure that, as you shared, you've been all over the world on phone and possibly in some areas in person. But can anyone be successful in this business as a professional in terms of, you had a life-changing experience and have seen those.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites, because a lot of people will ask, well, how old do I have to be? Or, can I be, retired and sign up in this? Or can I be in college and sign up in this? And absolutely everybody can. But my favorite, I was in Waycross, Georgia, which is right on the edge of the Okefenokee Swamp. So it's really small town, southern. And I was doing this meeting, and we were probably 20 minutes into it, and this door just bangs open, and these two great big men, in their early 20s come in, and they hold the door open, and they're like standing like escort, and then this itty bitty tiny woman with the cane comes in and just, she's doing the loud clack, clack, clack with the cane, walks right in, takes the front row, has the two boys that turned out to be her grandsons sitting on either side. And she was a brand new golden Nikken, and she was going to share her story. She got married when she was 14 or 15 years old, was married for 60 something years before he died. And the only job she'd ever done outside of the house was she was the letter writer for her church. She wrote a newsletter, and she did it since she was in her 20s. And when her husband died, she realized that they didn't have the finances that they needed. She just didn't know what to do. And so in her newsletters, she just talked about everything that was going on in the town and in her life. And her grandson lived in California and signed up in Nikken and done fairly well. and he would write her letters and talk about how his business was going, and she'd put that in the letters about how proud she was of the grandson. But over the years, everybody who'd ever gone to that church, even when they moved away, they got a newsletter from her. And she built her business completely with that newsletter, bragging about all the stuff her grandson did. And people would write back and ask her questions, and she'd answer them. And so no email, no cell phone, handwritten letters. She built a gold level business and was making $7,000 or $8,000 a month in her 90s.
Wow.
So absolutely anybody, anywhere, even if you live in the swamp, you can do
Oh,
this
that's
business.
amazing. And, you know, obviously age and there's no limit to the success. That's very inspiring. And do you have any closing comment, Chris?
Well, for everybody who's in the business right now, it absolutely is the time to run. You know, if everyone brings one, you know, it's pretty obvious. It doubles how many people are here. But there's so many things that are going on that are positive for our business right now, and there's so many people who need it. It's just absolutely amazing. Everywhere I go, I'm running into people that absolutely, you know, we could change their lives very easily with what we have. And for those of you that aren't in, give it a chance. You know, you don't know how good it can be, and most people don't realize how bad they hurt until they stop hurting.